right. This next segment should be very interesting, especially to you, Sean, who loves everything tech. It has to do with interactive learning and how it is progressing into the future with 3D simulations. You now can help companies and employees interact with bite-sized learning sessions all through 3D technology.
I'm all for making the training less arduous because my goodness, just watching a video of bad actors, it can be pretty brutal. This guy can help us a lot. He is Ed Beltran. He is the CEO of Fierce Conversations. He's here to train us quickly, easily, and getting us engaged as well. It's great to have you, Ed. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I really appreciate being able to be here for you and tell you about what we're doing. Thank you,
Yeah,
JJ and Sean.
let's talk about Fierce.
Yeah.
What is it that you are doing? Explain it.
Yeah, definitely. To tell you a little bit about Fierce as a background, have you ever, JJ and Sean, been in those situations where you walk away and you're like, why didn't I say this? Or how could I have made that conversation go better and drive the outcomes better? I'm sure you've been in that a million
Every
times.
interview I've ever done.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely. And, especially in today's environment, right, with a lot of topics that are sensitive, right, such as like race and politics, it's even more critical now.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we've been doing for the past 20 years is we've been teaching conversation techniques and providing the tools to individuals and companies large and small. Um,
I-
we fundamentally believe that the conversation is the relationship, and a missed conversation or poorly executed conversation can have dire consequences, or conversely, can change the trajectory of a life or a career.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, that's what we do. And
I
so
love
we're
it.
the. Oh, sorry. Please
No,
go ahead.
sorry, Ed. Yeah, I've got to jump in with a question. So sorry, because I'm very curious. I've never experienced 3D simulation. So could you just tell us how it works a little bit? Like, does it ever happen in person? Or are you in front of the screen? How does it go?
Yeah, absolutely. So, they're meant to serve two purposes. One is that if you go through your in-class training and you want to be able to have practice when you actually go out into the real world, this will help you get there faster, right? Sustainability. And conversely, for certain employees, we can't take them offline and train them for days on end. So, how do we get to the punchlines faster? Think about a retail employee, or think about a nurse or a doctor on the front lines, especially now, right? How do we give them the tools to drive better outcomes? So, what this really is, and we're really proud, is it's a gaming environment. So imagine being able to create your own avatar that looks like you and talks like
Wait.
you and sounds like you,
Yeah.
and you're literally thrust into this scenario, this conversation, that you drive the moves, you drive the outcomes. And just like a video game, and Sean, I think this will excite you as well, is that you have many lives to correct your mistakes, and that's really what this is just real
Believe
life
it were real life.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at the website, it almost kind of like strikes me out. And I want to get you in a copyright trouble. It feels like The Sims a little bit. You're kind of like you're taking this person through, and
Mm.
you're kind of affecting their feelings and the feelings of people around you by the way that you handle things.
That's
Mm.
exactly correct. That
Perfect.
is a gamified approach, and it has real consequences as well, right? So an employee will quit on you, you will get fired, someone will get insulted, but conversely, employee will be motivated, or you will get a promotion, or you will create a friendship that you didn't think possible. So that's really what this is, just practice, right? Real life situations that will help you, when you go out there in the world.
It's so much better. JJ and I, we both taken training
Yeah.
where it's a
Yeah.
45-minute video where you're sitting there and you're having to watch this bore fest, and it's not even keeping your attention at all. This is something that's actually active, JJ. We could love
Well,
this.
I'm sorry. I'm going back to some of my first questions is like, what is the interaction like? I'm so curious.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just like a game. Like, think of choose your own adventure. So you're in a conversation, and in that conversation, you're able to choose the path forward. I want to say, and maybe it'll give you three or four choices. I want to say this. So let's just use a real life example. An employee
Sure.
confronts you about a performance review, right? So there's different paths that you can take. You can get defensive, or you can engage learning a little bit more. So if you take the wrong path, it's just going to escalate the situation in direction you don't want to go.
Yeah.
But thankfully, you could hit the redo button or start over button in these scenarios and try over. In real life, you don't have that opportunity.
No, you
So
don't.
that's exactly
Mm.
what it is.
And
And at the end, you get
the boring training, you select the wrong one. They say you're wrong. You're supposed to select that one, and then you move forward. This, you'll actually get to see what happens if you're wrong. You end up getting that person to quit, or you get sued. Like it's very, it's really interesting. And a lot of great big companies been using this with you as well, haven't they?
Yeah, we have a couple of successes I would love to share with you. Some of them have to do with the timeliness of COVID, and others have to do with the timeless of some of the the timeliness of some of the challenges we have in our current environment.
Yeah.
Love to share with you.
Yeah, go ahead. We have about 30 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. So one of them is that a large telecommunications retail giant came to us and said, and our retail employees are facing an issue with customers coming into the store. One is they're on either end of the spectrum of COVID. Why are you wearing a mask? Why do I have to wear a mask? And just agitated. And the other side, they're just more sensitive around, don't get into my space. I don't understand all this. And so to be a good retail employee and good customer service, you really have to engage those customers correctly. So you can't take retail employees offline for hours or days on a time. So how do you give them the punchline? And so we were able to develop these customized simulations that captured that secret sauce and scale it out through their web browser or their cell phones for them to take it on their lunch break or whenever in 15 minutes or less. And I'm very happy with that success.
Really
We've also extended that same thing to frontline nurses and doctors and how they interact with one another. So again, very happy with those successes.
Ed, congratulations on everything, my friend. Sounds really
Nice
cool.
to meet you, Ed.
And you as well. Thank you very much for having me.
Fierce, INC, fierceinc.com if you want to learn more. Executive Lifestyle, a proud sponsor of The Morning Blend.